We're at Marymore Park where it's all nice and green and all the plants look very nice. But believe it or not, some of these plants don't belong here. So we're about to learn about King County's new app that will help you identify noxious weeds and even give you tips on how to remove them or get you help from the county in order to remove them.
And then you're going to reach down at the base and just yank it out.
This ground is not too soft.
Go right next to it. I would go as close as you can.
You guys didn't cheat on this, did
We
you?
didn't loosen the soil. There's no help here. And this is a plant that volunteers can help us get rid of. But always wear gloves. Make sure that you're not inhaling it, eating it.
All right.
Good. You can hold that root out and show everybody. So this
it does look
plant
like a
is
carrot.
related to the carrot. You guys can see this, right? That's like a carrot. Don't eat it. It's very poisonous.
Wow. Okay. And then
So
into
what
the
we're going
bag,
to do
huh?
is we're going to bag it because we do not want this in the compost. We do not want poisonous plants in the compost.
No poisonous in compost. They just go to the dump.
Yeah, they're just going to go
Okay.
to the dump.
All right. I've done my part. You guys got to do the rest of this over here.
Everybody grab some gloves, shovels. No?
Hey.
Get rid of this stuff.
Thanks, everybody. Go get them. This is Sasha Shaw. She is with, say that 3 times fast, right? She's with King County's Noxious Weed program here. Now, let me ask you firstly, Sasha, how do these plants that don't belong here get here?
Well, they were all brought here by people who have traveled from Europe and Asia and the rest of the world. Some of them, people thought they were pretty, and so they introduced them in their gardens, and then before they know it, they escape and spread. Other plants have kind of hitchhiked along. People put out wildflower seed or something like that. It might have a couple of noxious weed seeds in there. We have poison hemlock here. Poison hemlock was considered to be pretty by some people, like kind of like baby's breath or something. Very, very poisonous plant. If you eat any of it, you can die. It's a neurotoxin. But for some reason, people like to plant things, and then it's escaped into our parks and our natural areas.
And so if you eat any of it from top to bottom,
That's right. Seeds,
It's
roots,
bad news.
flowers, yeah. It can actually paralyze you and kill you.
so once they're here, how do they spread?
They spread like all plants do. They have seeds. Poison hemlock makes thousands and thousands of seeds, each plant. And those seeds last for a long time in the soil. The soil can get moved around by people, by animals, as they, walk through. They could pick up seeds on their boots and then transport it to new areas. People put mowers, they mow an area that's got seeds on it, and then the mower moves someplace else. So people really contribute a lot, unfortunately. And then there's just, animals moving things around, birds eating the berries and, flying around and spreading weeds that way. So, yeah, weeds have their ways of getting around.
So then the trick, once they get really going, how do you get rid of them?
That's a really good question. We try to get the weeds, the new invaders that are coming into Washington while they're just limited in distribution, and those are our kind of top priority because we have a chance at controlling them. There's other weeds that have been here for 100 years already, and they're pretty widespread. So for those, maybe we're not going to actually get rid of them all. Maybe we'll just get rid of them where they have the most impact. Poison hemlock, because it's poisonous, and we're targeting near community gardens, near people's like schools, parks, places where animals might eat it accidentally or people might eat it. So that's where we're going to prioritize it. Sometimes you just have to pick your battles.
Oh, that's fair. So then what's the trick? I mean, how do you do it?
How do you kill a plant?
Yeah, how do you get rid of
plants
them?
have roots. You got to dig it up most of the time. Most plants, if you just cut them, they just regrow. So we really teach people, get a shovel, dig it down, get the root out. Best time to kill a plant is before it has seeds on it, because if you pull a plant and seed, you're spreading the seeds around. So really it's just a matter of killing the roots, making sure you dig it up, or if you're going to cut it a lot of times till the root gets starved. Every time it produces new plants, it's going to get a little bit weaker, and over time you're going to have less and less. So the key is that we have seeds in the soil anywhere there's been that plant in the past. So you got to go back every year. If people get discouraged, they're like, I did so much work last year. Why do I have all these noxious weeds? And I'm like, sorry, seeds in the soil, new plants. Got to do it again. And then over time, you get less and less.
Are there any, I'll call them habitual offenders around King County? Like, what are the worst ones we see around the county?
Yeah, the worst in terms of human impact that we have, besides the poison hemlock, which I already mentioned, we have giant hogweed. Giant hogweed was in the papers last year because there was a gentleman that got really burned from it. It causes blisters on your skin. That's a really hazardous plant. People don't know what they have, and then they have like giant plants in their backyard. They go out and cut it down. They can get blistered from it. So those are kind of our two most toxic plants to people. Our other big offender for animals is tansy ragwort. And tansy ragwort, all horse owners know this plant because the horses try not to eat it, but if they eat a little bit, they get it in their livers, and it actually causes irreversible liver damage and can kill the animals. So those are kind of our big top poisonous plants that we have in King County.
Are those also the most like widespread?
They're not. Hogweed is very limited. When we had the most populations we had was about, I think, 1,600 about 10 years ago, and we've got it down to now just a couple hundred, which to us is not that many locations. Poison hemlock, on the other hand, we have not been able to get that. Just started this year trying to really fight that one back, and there's a lot of it out there. Tansy ragwort, we probably have a few thousand locations in the county. So yeah, there's quite a few. I was thinking about all of the noxious weeds we have in King County. We have about 11,000 populations that our staff are tracking down every year. And there are about 50 different species of noxious weeds that the state requires control of in King County, and those are kind of like our top priority. So that's kind of our workload every year.
Wow, that's crazy.
How's the app going to help?
The app is going to help us find the plants more successfully. So in the past, we've encouraged people to report noxious weeds to us. But often they don't have a photo of the plant. They just say, oh, there's a plant growing on the road. It's green. It's got flowers. It doesn't really help us. So if they take a photo and it has it geolocated, we know exactly where they were. And we know what plant they were looking at because they send us a photo. So even if they don't know the name, they can just send us the photo and we can figure it out. We're dealing with plants that are really dispersed on the landscape. So the giant hogweed is a plant that is going to be mostly in people's backyards, in ravines, in out-of-the-way places. There's no way we're going to find those plants. Most of them get reported to us now. And so this app is going to be a way for people to very quickly do that. The other cool thing about it is as soon as they report the weed, it instantly goes onto our map back in our office, and we have a specialist who will look at that map, look at the photo, make sure it's a regulated noxious weed, and then she actually just basically flips a switch. It goes onto the mobile phone of our field staff, and they can find that plant out in the field, all in matters of moments.
Wow.
So that speeds up, incredibly what we used to do.
Yeah.
I won't even tell you the paper forms that we used to have,
Yeah,
the whole
that-
process, right? So
The
yeah.
faxing and
Yeah, the actual physical maps,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know, it was just crazy. So it's really going to speed things up. And
Great.
with noxious weeds, they're tricky. They're hard to find plants. They're hard to kill. But any edge we can get is going to help us.
Perfect.
All right,
Great.
very good. Thanks,
Yeah.
Sasha. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So down there. So we have garlic mustard. Garlic mustard doesn't look like much, but it's actually a plant that's edible, and it was introduced as a food plant. But unfortunately, it's super invasive, and this is a plant that impacts natural habitats. So it doesn't affect people, but it affects our forests, it affects our native plant communities, and it also affects butterflies. They will lay their eggs on it, and the caterpillars will die because they can't eat it. So it's kind of a butterfly sink, we call that. But yeah, it's really hard to identify. This plant, right now, it's even harder to identify because it's starting to go to seed. It doesn't have its little white flowers on it. I've been kind of keeping it from going spreading, so I've been picking off the seeds, right? So garlic mustard is one of those plants where, people are going to see other plants out there that look like it. Just take a photo, send it in, and figure it out. Knotweed, this little tiny plant actually grows about 10 to 15 feet tall and forms a solid mass of vegetation, and it grows along rivers. And when it covers the edge of the river, it doesn't allow trees to grow. And we're trying to get trees established on our rivers to cool the rivers for salmon habitat and also to filter the soil so we have better water quality. So this plant really directly impacts both salmon habitat and water quality. It's also really hard to control. Knotweed is probably our poster child for difficult to control. People just have a really hard time getting rid of that.
What's next here?
We have spotted knapweed. Spotted knapweed is a very harmful plant in range areas. So eastern Washington, we have large areas where animals graze, both natural animals and livestock. And this plant will overwhelm the edible plants and make the land not usable for the animals. It also increases erosion. It can increase fire risk. It does a lot of damage to our kind of range areas in Washington.
Well, and the thing I keep thinking about is I'm looking at these, and I know we have a few more, though. Like, at a glance, out of the corner of my eye, I thought, oh, rosemary, I'm going to go,
Yes,
cook with
right.
that, although I can see now up close, the leaves are obviously
yeah,
more
yeah.
flexible than they are on rosemary, but you got, green leaves here and green and red over there. I mean, how do you tell these from, everyday
Right, right.
everyday plants? I mean, you really have to
You have
have
to
the
know your
pictures
plants.
and look and think, oh boy, maybe this doesn't belong here.
Yeah, and these plants don't have flowers right now, so they're not very, easy to identify. But so I tell people with this one, it looks sort of gray-green. Well, in Washington, we don't have, Western Washington, plants are not gray-green, right? They're not like
They're
sage.
just green,
They're
right?
green,
Yeah.
right? So if you saw this out in nature, you'd be like, what? That doesn't belong. Snap a photo, send it in, right? That's what I would tell people.
It's not the ever gray state, is it?
No, not here anyways, except for the skies.
And I see our friend of the horses here is up
Yeah.
next.
Tansy ragwort is starting to come up right now, and it's going to make little daisy flowers. So we have this little guide to noxious weeds. This is tansy ragwort. So put this on top of the plant here. This is a plant that animals try not to eat, but it does cause liver poisoning, and so if they get it in their system, it can actually cause irreversible liver damage and kill them. And this is one where there's actually quite a bit in the county. People can help us by pulling this one up when they see it. It's not so toxic that they can't do that, but I would still wear gloves, so you don't get it in your system.
Good advice. And then there's this big ugly thing.
Yeah, and then we have a little poison hemlock.
Oh yeah, don't want to forget about this. I mean, we saw it, in its natural form over
Yeah,
here,
you can
but
see how big it gets. This is what the flower looks like.
and it really does look like baby's breath a little
It's
bit.
kind of pretty, right? So a horror story a woman told me is she was collecting poison hemlock plants for her bridal bouquets that she was creating. She was wearing a tank top, no gloves or anything. She didn't know what it was. And she absorbed the poisons into her body, ended up in the hospital. It somehow got in her system and it caused really bad damage, and she was fine after going to the hospital. But anyway, so I tell people wear gloves. It's not going to give you a rash necessarily, but you might get a reaction. But if you eat it, it can definitely kill you.
Hopefully she didn't miss her wedding being in the hospital.
She was very shocked by that whole experience.
Oh boy, and then there's big ugly here.
Yeah, we got giant hogweed here. You get these purple bumps on it. It's got these kind of spiky looking hairs. Those are not spikes, they're just hairs. So you could brush against it, it wouldn't hurt. But if you break the stem and you get the juice on you, it can cause a skin reaction to make your skin blister in the sun. So you can get these really nasty blisters from it. So this is a young giant hogweed. The whole plant gets about 15 feet tall when it's in full flower. It looks like this amazing, giant Queen Anne's lace. I don't know if you know that plant. Kind of like a white umbrella upside down. Lots and lots of little white flowers. Grows really tall. So yeah, and this is one where, if I had this come into my backyard and I would go out there with weed whacker or something and cut it down, and then it would spatter on me and give me blisters. So this is something that happens to people. Definitely report this one. We can help people get rid of it.
So blistering and burns, but you can recover.
Yeah. Your skin turns you get these bubbly blisters that hurt a lot, and then it turns purple, and that purple lasts for probably at least a year, sometimes lasts a few years on your skin. But it's not poisonous if you eat it, it's just poisonous to your skin.
Learning that lesson the hard way, right?
Yeah.
So bottom line, especially with this one, get them early, right?
Yeah, get them young, get them little, they're easy to dig up. All plants can be dug up at some stage in their life. Just don't let it go to seed.
All right. Sasha, thanks for the tour. Appreciate
Yeah, you're
that.
welcome, anytime. My tour to weeds.
And this is Jen Travis with Slalom, the people behind the app. Jen's going to give us a little demonstration here. How does it work, Jen?
So once you've downloaded the app to your phone, you can click on it, and then you can actually just click on Report Noxious Weeds. It's going to prompt you to take a photo of the weed with using your mobile device. So I'm going to take a photo of the poison hemlock here behind me. And then when you're comfortable with the quality of the photo, you can say, yes, let's use that one. It'll automatically populate the date that you took the photo and the geolocation using the latitude and longitude coordinates. So it gives a very specific location to the King County Noxious Weeds program staff. Then it asks you to match it to one of the weeds within their database. And what you can do is you can either scroll through and look for a picture that looks like yours, or you can say, I know this is poison hemlock. So there it is. I can get a lot of great information. I can compare the photo that exists. I can also look at the class, some physical characteristics of it. I can learn more about how it is, what you should know about it in terms of safety, as well as what's the safe removal process look like. Then I can say, yes, this is my weed. So then it populates there. If you want to send any additional information to the county about, context, oh gosh, it's right in the street or it's somewhere easy for pets to access, you can add that information. If you want to receive status updates from program staff about the removal of the weed, you can add your name and your preferred method of contact, either email or phone. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do that, but the information is only used for program staff to contact you. It's not used for any other purpose. And then if it's on someone's property, you can let them know by using that toggle switch. And then you simply report it. And once it's reported, it will give you a confirmation screen to let you know. You can create a new request directly from there. You can go straight to the website and learn more about noxious weeds. You can also contact the program staff directly via email or phone. And like Dow said, you can contact King County as well directly from this app.
Oh, it's great. And you had it all done in about 30 seconds.
Right. It was very easy. So.
I mean, I think the longest part of the process is if you don't know what it is.
Yes.
It's going through the pictures and trying to figure out what it matches up with, right?
Well, what's really great is there are plans to incorporate artificial intelligence to match that in the future. So that's something that's being worked on.
Really? How long before that comes out?
I can't give you a time on that. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that that's in the plans. So to make it even easier.
Yeah, that way you don't have to be a weed expert. You can just look, and if it comes close, I imagine if there's a couple that look alike, the AI will probably give you a couple of choices between the two, and
likely, yes,
and you can sort it out from there.
Yeah, and that's a great part. I mean, that's why we were involved and partnered with King County and the technology staff there around helping design it, because it's all about what's the best way to do this and what's the easiest way for people to be able to engage with the county and report and be like Dow said, be a part of the solution. How do we make that as easy as possible so that they don't have to know too much or think too much, but that they can do it very easily while they're out and about in the community?
Is it a safe guess this isn't Slalom's first partnership with Microsoft?
This is not our first partnership with Microsoft.
How are they as a partner?
They're great. We love working with Microsoft. Our partnership is both broad and deep and long, and they're a great partner, especially working with us on this hackathon. They helped host this, made this all possible, so it was great.
That's fantastic. Jen Travis with Slalom. Thanks for that, Jen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, good morning, and welcome to Marymoor Park, the most visited site in King County's network of spectacular parks and trails. It is a special place gifted to us by previous generations and an inspiring example of our region's strong commitment to land conservation and environmental stewardship. For those who haven't been paying attention for the past, 40 years, Redmond is also the proud home of a little software company called Microsoft, the homegrown tech company that changed the way we experience the world. Today we're here to debut a new tool that combines those two strengths, environmental stewardship and technology solutions, helping us eradicate invasive plants that pose a threat to people, wildlife, and habitat. Now, our King County app lets you contact myriad programs and departments with questions or complaints or compliments if you're so moved. And today we're introducing a new bit of functionality to that app that is going to make it easier for residents to submit a photo with precise location of noxious weeds anywhere in our region. Our team of specially trained experts with degrees in biology and environmental science will quickly coordinate a response and remove the invasive plant before it spreads. The app offers a photo gallery and descriptions that can help you determine if your plant is one of the offending plants. Now, it's still unclear what type of plant it is. An actual person, a member of our noxious weed program, can personally assist you. I would like to encourage everyone to hold up your phone and submit a photo right now, but given the team's already here, I think we have this particular site reasonably under control. This convenient new tool is the result of a hackathon King County participated in last year with Microsoft and Slalom. It is a handheld example of local government partnering with local companies to produce innovative solutions. You can also connect with our employees who can answer your questions and help navigate any of King County's other services. Now, the people of King County want to take personal action to support and restore our natural environment. Whether it's volunteering to help us plant 1 million trees throughout King County by the end of 2020, and we are getting perilously close to meeting that goal already, or helping our staff remove invasive plants. We're making it convenient for residents to participate in environmental stewardship. I want to thank our partners at Slalom and Microsoft, both of whom are here with me today. And I want to thank our dedicated county employees who do exceptional work for so many years to control invasive plants throughout our region. This new tool on our app will enhance their important ongoing work. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to grab a shovel for a different kind of groundbreaking that will take out some of the noxious weeds behind me. But first, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our principal consultant from Slalom, Jen Travis.
Thanks. So yeah, my name is Jen Travis. I lead the experience design team at Slalom. And Slalom is, if you're not familiar with Slalom, we are a modern consulting firm. We focus on strategy, technology, and business transformation. What's cool though and different about us is that we're a local model consulting firm. So our employees live, work, and play in our own communities. That means we're also really invested in addressing some of the issues that really impact us close to home, which is why we wanted to work with King County on this. So what's really cool about this app and what we're really excited about is that it gives residents the opportunity to quickly and easily report noxious weeds while they're out in the community using their mobile device. So I am going to do a demo for you, and I'm going to out of this real quick. So all you have to do is first download the app to your phone. You can go to your preferred app store, download it to your phone. It's the King County Connect app. And you will go, and the first thing you see is report noxious weeds. So you can click that button, and what it will do, actually, I have to get it out. It will prompt you to take a photo of the weed. And so you'll use your phone to take a photo of the weed. I'm going to go ahead and turn around and take a photo of this poison hemlock, just as an example. All right. So, yep, that looks good. I'm going to say use photo. And what it does, the first screen automatically populates the date that you took the photo. It also automatically populates the latitude and longitude of the location of where you snapped the photo, which is really important information for the program staff. Then what you would do is you want to match that weed that you took a photo of to the list of the common noxious weeds that King County has in their database. So you can scroll through and look for that, or you can come up here if you know the name. I'm going to put poison hemlock in there, and I see it there, so I'm going to select it. What's really great is it takes you to it instantly gives you some great information about it. It gives you a photo, gives you a class, gives you some physical features, also some best practices in terms of removal and what you should know about the plant in terms of its, dangerous elements of it. So if once you've looked through this information, you can match the photo to the photo you took and say, okay, yep, that's my weed. Then you can add some additional information if you'd like. Not required, but it also helps the King County program staff to have a little more context about where that weed is and what the issue is. So I'm just going to say pets have easy access to it. So I can put that information there and the additional information. If you choose, you can also choose to receive additional or status updates on the removal of the weed. And to do that, you can add your name and your preferred method of contact, either email or phone. And that's completely optional. That information is only used for King County program staff to contact you directly about status updates for the removal of the plant. So completely optional. In addition, if the plant is located on someone's personal property, you can share your name and the information with the property owner with a easy little toggle on and off switch there. That's all. Then you can hit report now, and it will give you a confirmation. In addition to that confirmation, it gives you a really easy way to contact Sasha and her staff directly by email or phone. And like Dow said, a really easy way to contact King County about any other issues you might want to report. So in addition, you can also learn more about noxious weeds and go straight to the King County website to do that. So that's as simple as that. And we've been really excited to partner with them on this. This great idea came out of a hackathon, like Dow mentioned, and with Microsoft, and this is just a really great partnership for us, and we really enjoyed it. You can download the app in the Apple and Google Play app stores, so I encourage you to do it and give it a try. Very cool. All right, now I'm going to introduce you to Asher Khan. He works with Maps Now. He coordinates with King County to restore Marymore. So.
Hi, thank you. My name is Asher Khan. I'm a volunteer coordinator with Muslim Association of Puget Sound and their Nature, Outdoor and Wildlife group. So MAPS is very close by, just 5 minutes walk from here. And I think it was a great opportunity for us to come outdoors and help Marymore Park. So we have adopted a site nearby where we have planted 1,000 trees over here. And I think this app, since we are so much outdoors and in the nature, this app would be useful for us to kind of report the issues that we see and also get awareness about the different types of weeds which we should watch out for. So I think I'll look forward to using it, and we'll advertise it among our group.
Great.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sasha Shah. I'm with King County's Noxious Weed Program, and we are just delighted that we have this app. We've been working really hard on noxious weeds for a long time, but we have over 11,000 infestations of noxious weeds in King County. Every year we're trying to find those plants. It really helps us to have volunteers like Ashar and other county people to tell us where these plants are so that we have a chance to get rid of them. So we're really happy to have this ability to find a location, get a photo of the plant. We encourage everybody to use this app and let us know what you're seeing out there. We figure it's going to be a really good way to connect people to our program so that we can directly hear from them about what their concerns are about noxious weeds, where they're seeing plants that are affecting them. We're really hopeful that this is going to really help us get a handle on where these noxious weeds are. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Sasha. And I'm Eric Eglin with Microsoft. So it's been a pleasure to be a part of this. This app uses the Azure platform. If I'm with Microsoft and I'm in front of a microphone, I have to say the word Azure. So it's legal. So use the Azure platform and then Visual Studio on the app dev side. And so to bring that functionality. What I'm really excited about, I'm part of a global innovation team that helps enterprises use advanced technology for the first time and take things from kind of conceptual and words and talking to real projects that actually go to deployment. I'll be on a flight to Chicago in a couple hours. I was in San Diego last week. I was in Texas, Charlotte in the last couple of weeks doing the same kind of thing. And one of the things that I look at is everybody's curious about how to be more advanced in the way they engage citizens, residents, all their stakeholders in the community, but only so many are serious, and it's hard. You need capable IT teams, you need capable partners like Solemn, you need committed senior leaders who want to do this. You need committed business units like the Noxious Weeds program who are willing to give the expertise that it takes to make something like this work. And I just want you to know, King County, from my personal experience, is a national leader in this. There's a lot of counties all over the place who are always asking about, how do I create an app that's a main channel of communication? And King County's really done it. It's been an honor and a pleasure, a sincere pleasure to be a part of this, to see this move through. And I think it's going to be a model for a lot of other counties who want to do something similar. So Tanya, it's been fantastic to work with you and your team. And this is, there's lots more coming from here, lots of exciting things in the pipeline that I love working on. So it's been a great pleasure, and I'm grateful to be a part of it. So thanks to all the different people at King County and Slalom who've made this happen. Lastly, there's about 1,200 engineers at Microsoft who've worked on Visual Studio and Azure. So I'm just going to quickly read their names just to give them thank you.
And you mentioned Tanya. Tanya Hanna is our Chief Technology Officer, the head of our Information Technology Department, who's helping to make all of this happen for us. And Natasha Jones is here with us. She's our Director of Customer Service. And I created a leadership level customer service director when I became executive because I thought it was very important for us to continue to develop the ways in which we can provide more value to people. And this is one of the ways in which we're realizing on that promise. So thank you. In the area of noxious weeds, we've worked for years to battle back against the plants that are invading our natural environments here. But it really takes many hands, as you can imagine. And by creating this application, the way in which you're able to use it to identify what the plant is, some of its characteristics, to communicate with experts, we are dramatically increasing the power of those many hands. And there are 2.25 million people in King County. So in one sense, having so many people is a challenge for our natural environment. On the other hand, there are very few places that can deploy that many soldiers in the battle against noxious weeds. So you're now armed and ready to go. We'd be glad, and the experts here in technology and noxious weeds would be glad to take whatever questions you might have. What is this stuff behind us? What is that stuff behind us?
That's poison hemlock.
That's poison hemlock. And I'm judging from the fact that the name includes poison, that's one of the weeds we're trying to get rid of, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
So can we go do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.